Hey guys, hope you are feeling well. Just wanted to come at you with another therapy ball rollout video. This week or today, I'm just focusing on the area of the feet. And the feet are a really wonderful place to focus on and to roll out often, as they are connected to virtually every single area of the body from a muscular skeletal sense into the organs, the tissues. And so really easy to take the time to roll your feet, as you really don't need to get down on the ground and back up and so forth. So it's a quick, easy thing that you can do, that you can try to see how it feels. And then for those of you who are feeling a little bit more kind of tight, stiff, sore in the feet, if you've been walking, if you attended the march this weekend, if you've been hiking, if you're just on your feet more than you're used to, this will feel hopefully really good and relieve some of the extra tensions in the bottoms of the feet. The bottoms of the feet, from the big toes all the way around the backside of the body and up, even to the space between the eyebrows, is about where that posterior or that backside chain of the body goes. So that area of the feet, rolling it, can really increase mobility, flexibility, pain relief, and all kinds of good feelings in those spaces, because they are really, really connected. So the first thing that I want to do is to say that we're just going to be using one therapy ball. So you can take the standard sized well-round therapy ball out of the tote or whatever you got and set it off to the side. I like to set mine on the tote, and that way it doesn't roll off. And then just going to take a little check of where you're at. So you can take a strap, you can take your hand around the back of your leg, you can do this however you like, but just going to bring yourself to a place where you can feel for that single leg stretch on the back of the legs, and just see where you're at in terms of your mobility today. How does this feel? Where do you feel it? And then maybe you just take a few breaths here just to kind of get a sense of where you're at and to get into your breath. And then nice and easy, super simple. We're just going to switch sides and feel into the left side, and just feeling for what's happening all the way from the perhaps low back, hip, all the way up into that big toe. Let's just take another deep breath here, just noticing the body, where you're at today. And then keeping that in mind, just getting that proprioception or that awareness of your body and space. You're going to come off to one side, come on up to your seat, and then press up to stand. But first, placing your therapy ball on the mat or the floor. The carpet is probably not the best idea, so finding some kind of smooth surface so you have a grippy stickiness. And then you're going to take the heel down, the ball of the foot onto the therapy ball, and you're just going to start with some compression on and off. And so I like to kind of lean forward and back, keeping a gentle bend in the knee, and just feel for kind of what's happening in the ball of the foot and what amount of compression is going to feel best for you. It's kind of like a little bit of a massage. So you can imagine someone giving you a massage, pressing their thumbs into the ball of your foot, and what you'd want that to feel like. And then we'll come back to neutral, and we'll feel for the center of the ball of the foot. Once again, the heel stays planted. If you need a wall, you can always reach for that. And you're going to just create a little bit of pressure down so that your foot is pressed into. And then you're just going to start to slowly drag the ball towards the inner edge of the foot and the outer. So you can, if you have the mobility in your ankle and foot, tap the big toe and tap the pinky toe. So you're dragging the ball across to each edge of the foot, crossing the fibers of the tissues in the ball of the foot. And so you're giving yourself a massage. You can go as deep as you'd like, or you can stay pretty shallow if it's feeling like too much. So just give yourself what feels best, and you'll take maybe a couple more of those. And then anything that we're doing, you can pause this video and you can work a little bit longer on. I'm just moving a little bit more quickly for the sake of time, just to get you the information today. And so from here, you're going to take the ball of the foot down now and place the heel on the ball a little bit forward of the back of the heel. So we don't want to be falling off of the ball or trying to balance too much. And then we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to do a little compression on and off, a little bit of bend in the knee, feeling for what kind of pressure feels best. Maybe you take a couple more of those deep breaths we began with. And then maybe one or two more of these little compression pieces before coming back to neutral. And then starting in on that dragging that we did on the ball of the foot. This time we drag from the heel to the ball, and then from the ball back to the heel. All right, so you can feel free to reach for a wall, because we do come all the way up with that right foot at certain points here as we're dragging. And then we're dragging not only through the center of the arch of the foot, but off to the right side, so towards the ankle side of that right foot, from heel to the ball of the foot, and then the inner edge. And if you find yourself, feeling drawn to making some circles, or maybe even pausing in one area or another, then go ahead and do that. That's what this work is all about. It's all about you recognizing what your body needs, where the release is needed most with these therapy balls, and then spending maybe just a little bit more time there. So give yourself a few more breaths, whatever you're doing. And then go ahead and let that go. So you're just gonna pause, and you're gonna just take yourself into a Tadasana stance. So feet are evenly placed below you, heart is lifted, shoulders are relaxed, and just let yourself close your eyes. Just notice that right foot. Just feel it out. Notice how that work may have affected you in the area of the right foot. Maybe it's all the way into the right side somewhere. And then go ahead and open your eyes. We'll take a block, or maybe if you have a book, that could be helpful, or a threshold in your house. And we'll take the ball of the foot right where the ball of the foot starts to kind of want to meet the arch. We're going to place that on the corner of the block that's closest to us. And then we're just going to start to take lift off from that back foot to find a stretch in the bottom of the right foot. I actually feel this more in my calf. Some may feel it more in the hip or the hamstring, right? And if you feel inclined to come in a little deeper, you can even walk that left foot forward a little more, right? While you are getting this stretch. So let's just take a breath or two here. And then we'll go ahead and let that go. Right, so by now you've worked on your right side quite a bit more than the left. Let's go ahead and move on to the left. Bring that therapy ball over. Take a little press into the ball of the foot, on and off. I'm just getting a sense of what's going on there, how that's feeling for you. Maybe it's totally different, and maybe it's just like you don't feel anything than you did on the first side, right? So really, this is just for your own noticing. It's not for judgment. So we're just trying to kind of assess where we're at, keeping a gentle bend in the knee, and then come back to center, starting that dragging across the fiber. So we tap the pinky, we tap the big toe, the left heel is down. We're feeling really stable. And if we're not, we're using the wall, just holding on to it. And maybe we take just a couple more of those drags, synchronizing the breath. Nice deep breath in, keeping your mind in your foot as you breathe out. And then we'll come back to center. Let's go ahead and switch to the heel. The ball of the foot stays down. There's a little bit of a bend in the knees, and there's compression on and off. And remember that you're not so far to the edge of your heel that you're going to kind of fall off. So you want to go slow and careful, really keeping that awareness as you go. And maybe we'll take just a few more of these, noting how your heel's feeling today. And then coming back to center, we'll start the dragging in a stripping manner. So going with the grain of the muscle or the tissue in the bottom of the foot from heel to ball, ball to heel and back. And then finding the little different places. You can go to the outer edge, the inner edge. You can make circles. Maybe you pause in one area in particular that you're like, this is screaming out to me a little bit. Give me a little bit more attention. Can you soften your everything else, your shoulders, neck, and jaw, right? Try to stay rooted in that standing foot. Let a little bit of pressure go in and out, and a breath come in and out as well. And then once again, we'll let that go. We'll come to Tadasana. We'll stand and we'll notice, what do you feel on the left side? Maybe it's the same thing as the right. Maybe it's different. None of that is right or wrong. It's just for you to really notice the energy, the sensations, and what that brought up for you. And then we'll come into our stretch using a block or maybe a stack of books by placing the ball of the foot onto the block and then stepping the heel down. And so if the heel doesn't touch, you can come a little bit less deep into the stretch, right? And then that back foot is just gonna kind of stand up so you can come onto the tippy toe. And what you're doing with the back foot is just as important. So we released, we rolled, we mobilized in a sense. Now what we're doing is activating. So that right foot is being activated as we stretch into the left. And then at some point, if you'd like, you can kind of step forward with that right foot, getting in a little deeper. If you want, you can stay with the first shape if that's better for you. And then we'll just take maybe, let's say, one more really full breath in and out here, dropping that left heel down as you exhale, and then stepping off. So you can kind of notice how that feels. Set your props off to the side and keep your strap nearby. You're going to come back down to your seat and all the way down to your back. And you're going to come back into that single leg stretch. So we're just working to get a little bit of a recheck. How does this feel now? Right? You might feel it like you can go in deeper. You might feel it like now I don't feel it in my foot. I feel it in my hip. There's all kinds of different ways this could go. Right, but let's just recheck the other side. And for me, my left side is a little tighter. I've loosened it up a bit so I can bring it in just a little bit deeper. And there's just a sense of a little more freedom in the lower half of the body. Right, so just checking and rechecking. You can stay in any of these places, in any of these practices as long as you'd like. As long as you feel it's beneficial to you. Kind of rule of thumb for quick practice is to roll for 5 minutes each side and maybe stretch or mobilize and then activate depending on what you need, right? So play with it. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for joining this practice, this short foot rolling practice today. I hope you find it beneficial for yourself.